Capitalism is communism or social ownership.
So,
ready? 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Adam and Sheridan Show video podcast.
I don't know if you guys know.
There's a
long pause. I may put that in the edit. I don't know why.
See, this is why people don't watch our show, because
I know
we can't.
We're so unprofessional.
Yeah, no.
We keep calling ourselves out.
I'm Adam Courtwright. This is Sheridan Smythe. I had to do it.
Untrue last name,
No, I know.
but close. So, my name is Sheridan Smith. We're actually radical socialists. So,
Yeah. This is
we're
all
going to talk.
We're recording this on Halloween evening, and
Which
I
is
don't know if you
great.
can see outside
Yeah.
behind us. It's raining. We're on 3rd Street here in Jamestown, and
Back of our heads.
very sad that the kids had to be soaked.
It is. It's really sad.
Rain.
The terrible weather, but good for you kids who brave the weather, because probably they're dumping bowls into your bags.
Just please,
At this
if
moment.
you ever knock on my door while on
congratulations.
Halloween night, I will trip you. All right, so let's talk about
You're the
socialism.
worst person. All right, so we're going to read an article from In
Yeah.
These Times by Bhaskar Sunkara. Bhaskar Sunkara started a magazine which I absolutely adore, Jacobin. Go to jacobinmag.com. It's a wonderful website, but he's also a contributing editor to In These Times, which is a very long-standing labor magazine. Pro-labor magazine, and they started out as pretty radical, became tame, and now they're getting very much more radical. So this is a wonderful change. And recently, I'm not sure if anyone knew, especially because you don't watch this channel, but I'm not sure if anyone knew the government shut down for a period of time.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks.
It was a couple weeks,
Yeah.
and
No one was,
reason it did.
Thankfully, no one was affected by it.
no one was aware.
Yeah.
It wasn't like thousands of low-paid workers
Or
had no
furloughed.
check for a while.
Yeah.
But basically, this was the Tea Party caucus, kind of the tiny caucus, which is specifically
me?
located.
So yeah,
That's how I called you a mountain
Yeah.
in Europe, the Caucasus. But this tiny faction,
Urals. Yeah,
which is specifically geographically kind of located, ghettoized, as Bhaskar Sunkara said. They're specifically geographically ghettoized, and they took over the government and shut it down because they had a piss fit over Obamacare.
ostensibly.
Bhaskar Sunkara kind of says, where's that on the left? Why aren't we saying, hey, you have to tax the rich, or we're not letting this thing continue any further? Where is there saying, well, you have to raise the minimum wage, or we're not going any further? Well, you have to shorten the workday. You have to do anything. And it's kind of because, you know, the politics that we have accepted is a ridiculous politics. We'll give an example in a second. The first two paragraphs are just infuriating. What he writes here. But do you have anything to
Yes, I was just going to say that there is no left version of the Tea Party. The left in
There's
the United
us.
States starts at the center. That's where, well, even Obama's to the right of center. But let's
He
say
is.
the
He's
Progressive
super
Caucus.
right.
The Progressive Caucus starts at the center.
Which is twice the size of the Tea Party
Right.
caucus and does almost nothing ever. So go on.
Yes, and then everything to the right, and then
Yeah.
the job of the Tea Party. Let's keep my hand in frame here. Right, everything to the
ridiculous.
right, to the right, to the right, to the right. The job of the
So
Tea
I'm
Party.
on the left. Check it. I'm on the left.
And I have a goatee. What of it? The job.
Should've brought your hat.
The job of the Tea Party is to move that center to the right.
Yeah.
And it's doing a very good job. And then that's the reason why Obama and others. Obama has said that he does want to raise the minimum wage to $9. But how fervently?
Oh,
how
how wonderful.
How fervently is he fighting for that? Not very.
No, he's
not.
not.
Threatening to shut the government
No,
down.
absolutely. And the fast food workers are calling for $15 an hour because if you live in a big city, $9 an hour is a joke. It's really ridiculous that, you know, at one time we were talking about shortening the working day from 8 hours. Well, okay, let's go into the first two paragraphs,
Don't
which
get
I
ahead of
have
yourself.
on my computer.
That's what we're looking at over here. So.
During the height of this fall's government shutdown, Obama spoke to factory workers about Republican intransigence in Congress. He asked them if they wanted a raise and more vacation time, would they just shut down the plant and walk off the job? Would they just shut down the plant and walk off the job?
like their brothers and sisters did in the 30s and 20s when there was actual bloody revolts for these things.
Telling this story to reporters, the president recalled, I said, how do you think that would go? You would get concessions. Continuing on, they all thought they'd be fired, and I think most of us think that. There's nothing wrong with asking for a raise or asking for more time off, but you can't burn down the plant or your office if you don't get your way. Well, the same thing is true here. The American people do not get to demand a ransom for doing their jobs.
All right.
The funny thing is,
this pisses me off.
In France, workers took over their factory and
Right.
kidnapped their boss and said, listen, we're not going to take it anymore. Several companies have become worker cooperatives. And in fact, people fought the police and the Pinkertons from the 1870s until the 1920s. People fought battles and died. Also striking and walking off the job, sitting down, holding picket lines. Like, people fought and died to get the concessions that we now take as for granted. Because, we are like, don't ask for time off because you don't deserve to be a human unless you got a graduate degree and someone deigned to hire you. Also, you don't need to have any fewer hours than 8 an hour, because we can just continue your work, make it more frantic, and fire a couple of people, which works out great for us. This is the problem. We have started viewing this as a natural order, and Obama, who is supposed to be the socialist, as the Tea Party
or at
calls
least
him.
the Democrat.
He's
the
at least
Democrat,
supposed to be left.
Yeah, or slightly left of center. The
Yes.
Democrat is supposed to be standing up for the people, and here we have him in his own words saying,
Mocking.
either ask for a raise, or if you don't get it, then just shut up and go home.
Yes.
That's what he's saying. I
And-
mean, who's standing up for the people then?
It's ridiculous, and that's what Bhaskar Sunkara asks in
good
a
question.
different kind of shutdown. He says, where is the left caucus saying if we do not expand this, if we do not make workers' rights better, if we do not limit the rights of the employers or the aristocracy, which I'm just going to start calling them that, because whatever
It
they
is.
are.
That's true.
If we do not stop this trend towards unimaginable power at the top and unimaginable lack of power at the bottom,
Despair.
where are the people in Congress that are willing to shut the government down, that are willing to not compromise, that are going to say, listen, okay, you want to talk budget, Robin Hood tax, progressive taxation, focusing heavily on taxing the rich, then we can talk about piddling other things. Then we can talk about refunding the Pentagon, refunding the NSA. But people aren't going to do that because they're going to say, okay, Republicans, what do you want? Oh, fuck, guess we have to cut chip.
So where are the caucuses that you asked for that are going to introduce this kind of legislation? They're out there. They're you. They're the ones in the living rooms and in the factories and in the schools that are regular people who don't have any ties to the political establishment right now, who don't have a lot of money. We need to start forming our own political parties, our own action committees, and electing ourselves, because these people that are in Congress right now, the Democrats, the Progressive Caucus, they're shit. They're not going to do it.
Not only that, we have to understand that the political game is kind of rigged against us because we don't have unlimited resources to be able to throw at any single problem,
Right.
which Obama did. Granted, it was mostly small contributions, but he had a lot of contributions to put him where he got. And we have to understand that if we want to get any concessions, if we want to do things, we're going to have to fight in a different way. We can get people elected, yes, but we can also do general strikes. We can also
Right.
march in the streets. We can also do just so many things, but we have to start fighting for what we view is progress. We don't have to get into hand-to-hand combat. We don't have to fight in that way, but at least if it makes a difference, we can sit down.
Although I wouldn't wait to the last minute to take fencing lessons.
That is true.
So,
That is true.
so yeah,
What's that
that's
time?
that's basically the message we want to impart is, and we do this a lot on the show, here and the radio show. The change is going to have to start from you.
Yes.
It's putting any amount of pressure on the Democratic Party will get you nowhere. It's a dead end.
Have these conversations with people and start imagining an alternative. We read an article, or we talked about an article on a radio show, WRFALP.com, by Chris Hedges, who said, listen, until you can imagine a socialist alternative, until this idea has implanted itself in the brains of the working people, you're not going to endanger the status quo. You're going to lose steam very fast because it's a bunch of people fighting for what they know not.
Right.
So once you start having these conversations about what can we do, how can we make this better, once we start envisioning a future and a viable future in socialism, until that happens, we can't do this. So talk to people, get involved in this stuff.
All right, this has been the Adam and Sheridan Show video podcast here
Absolutely.
on YouTube. Subscribe. Adam and Sheridan is our YouTube channel.
There's subscribe somewhere. There-ish.
Leave a comment if you want to
Again.
weigh in.
There-ish, but further.
We're also on Facebook, the Adam and Sheridan Show, or listen to us on the radio as well.
It's probably 2 tabs down, Facebook.
Somewhere.
Radio show, you're going to have to open a new tab.
Yeah.
WRFALP.
Or go to the
Just
radio
derailing
station.
this thing. Go to the radio station.
WRFALP 107.9 on the radio Fridays at 6 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 11.
Listen to our SoundCloud page. You can always get the back issues there
Mm-hmm.
on your smartphone, most likely. And email us. Absolutely talk about these things. Challenge us if you want. Vociferously challenge us.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll read you on the air.
AdamandSheridanShow@gmail.com.
Absolutely. And tweet at us. And challenge us in 140 characters or less at Adam and Sheridan.
All right.
This has been...
This has been the Adam and Sheridan
Yes.
video podcast. We thank you for listening. I'm Adam Courtwright.
I'm Sheridan. Stay active. How's that looking?
Good. Not too far away.
And then there are the parents who are out there
Too far away.
with umbrellas on. You can't cut me out of the shot.
No, but we're.
Oh, you know what I can do?
Our faces are.
Shh. Hush. You the DP?
Hush, my darling. Hush,
Are you?
my darling.
Don't sing. Are you DP? Did I miss that meeting?
We are both in charge of this production.
No, we are
whether you
not.
Like it or not.
I am in charge over this production. You're in charge of shit.
Nothing.
Stop it. Turn your phone off.